Excellent. Well, thanks everyone for coming to this workshop. We wanted to do something on social media advertising. We know that a lot of small businesses, the only sort of way they can get their word out is via social media, in particular Facebook. Facebook's pretty popular here in Columbia. But we know that sometimes it feels like if you buy ads or if you post, you're just kind of throwing money down a well. So what we'd like is, we wanted to bring in some experts to really show us how to do this properly. We all have small budgets, even the Loop has a small budget for this, and we want to make sure you're using every dime correctly. So we've got MJ and Jennifer here from Coagi. Coagi, 10 years, I just saw your shirts. Like, yep. They are located right behind the True Media building. So they're part of our family. They do digital advertising. They've done digital advertising for us. Mm-hmm. In the past, when we first started our Create program and our online makers directory, and so I thought of no one better than them to come in and give us an overview on this. So I'm going to turn it over to you folks, awesome. And then they'll be able to answer questions when they're done.
Awesome. Sounds great. Hi, thank you all for having us. Like Carrie said, we are from Coagi. I am Jennifer. I'm an Associate Account Director. I've been with Coagi for almost 5 years now, but have 8 years of industry experience. And then MJ, she's our social specialist. She's been here at Coagi for about 2 years. And like Carrie said, we are out of the Columbia office here on the Loop. Just a quick overview of today's agenda. We're going to go over kind of who Coagi is and kind of why we're here talking to you today. And then go into some differences of paid, owned, and earned media, social strategies, overview of the platforms, and kind of some paid campaign setups, and then how we measure successful campaigns. So who is Coagi? Coagi, does anyone know what Coagi means? It is Latin, so it means to bring together. So what Coagi does is we bring marketing strategies together as a digital partner. We really focus on the digital ads aspect, so really focus on the strategy, execution, and measurement of digital campaigns. We did start here in Columbia, but since we have expanded into Kansas City, St. Louis, as well as Minneapolis, Minnesota. Awesome. So paid media really is our bread and butter. That's kind of where we started. We've evolved since then, but we really still serve as that digital media partner in paid ads. So we do a lot of audience research, industry research, competitive analysis, really meeting with our clients to understand what their business goals are and how we tie that with paid media. So understanding the landscape of kind of what their industry is and how we can best utilize that knowledge to build them a strategy. Since then, we have also expanded into different aspects of like brand planning, again, additional resources and research into industries and businesses, as well as content and creative. So most recently, a couple of years ago, we launched our influencer marketing department. So we are able to work with influencers to help amplify our social strategies. And then we do have a Coagi approach. So again, we have our experts in the field. We have over 60 employees, a lot of years all between us as far as experts and industry knowledge. So we really strategize our building our marketing ecosystems and those marketing plans for each individual clients. We come together with innovation and new ideas, really staying on top of industry trends for everyone, and really create those unique solutions for our clients. We have excellent client service and really flexible processes. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We adapt to ultimately what your business needs and have that custom solution for you. And then also growth. Like I mentioned earlier, we really focus on the measurement. So what are these campaigns telling us? How do we grow from here? What do we need to change? How do we continue to expand on what your business goals are and get you that performance? So like I mentioned, we have anywhere from paid media, including programmatic, so anything with a digital screen that comes on, that's kind of where we can place ads. We also have obviously paid social media and paid search. So to dive into a little bit more about paid search, I'm going to turn it over to MJ to go into that.
Thanks, Jennifer. Get our mic swapped real quick so you guys can hear us. Cool. So getting started into our presentation today, we're going to start with an overview of paid, owned, and earned media. So ideally, your media strategy will be an intersection between all three. You'll want to have a presence with paid tactics, owned tactics, and earned in order to maximize your media efficacy. So just some examples so you can understand kind of what we mean when we say that. An example of a paid media buy would be essentially you're paying an advertiser to promote your content. So that would look like a paid social media ad campaign, a display advertisement, so kind of what Jennifer was explaining. So anything that you would see when you're scrolling through a website and an ad pops up, we consider that display advertising. Search engine marketing or pay-per-click marketing, you might have heard that term thrown around. That's kind of what you would see when you Google something and you see a business pop up at the top and it says paid ad. That is a paid form of media. Paid influencer content, so partnering with a creator and having them amplify your content and kind of get the word out about your business. Affiliate marketing, so when two businesses partner and they have an affiliate link of sorts to kind of amplify both businesses and promote that further. And then content promotion, so any type of paid content promotion falls into this category. Next up is owned. So this is probably stuff that you are already actively working on for your business. So your business website, your organic social media pages, blog posts, any other content that you have on your website or on your Facebook page, and then email marketing. So anything that you're actively sending out that you're not paying for any additional promotion. So that's kind of an example of owned. That's everything that you have control over the message of and that you are not paying any additional fees to promote. And then finally, we have earned. So this is kind of what you would think of as the intersection between these. You're not paying for additional promotion, but you're earning it from people who believe in your brand. So that is positive online reviews. So those Google reviews, Yelp reviews, anything like that is an earned form of media. Referrals, so person to person who are saying, hey, come check out this business. I had a great experience there. That is a form of earned media. Word of mouth, kind of the same thing. People telling their friends about your business. Organic social media mentions and user-generated content. So if someone loves your service, loves your business so much, they take it upon themselves to post about it on their own social media pages without you paying them. That is a form of user-generated content and earned media. Positive press. So if you have a story in the Columbia Missourian or somewhere like that, and they kind of review your business or tout an upcoming promotion that you have, that is a form of earned media. And then finally, social engagement. So people commenting, sharing, reposting, anything on your social media onto their own platforms is earned. So the first thing that you'll want to think about when kind of developing your media strategy is your audience. So who are the people that you want to engage with your business? The way we like to think about this is to come up with a persona. So up here we have examples for an I brand. So these are 3 examples of people who we believe are going to engage with our I brand. So we have the aging athlete, the person who has eye issues, and then someone who is a supplement buff. And this kind of helps us to identify and break down, okay, these are the type of people who we want to engage with, and how can we find them when we're targeting within our social media platforms. So the aging athlete, for example, we've broken down his demographics. So he is going to skew heavily male. They have, on average, higher household income, so they can afford to kind of experiment with the new eye products. And they are going to be in the age range of age 35 to 54. Next up, we have the woman who has eye issues, so they might be interested in trying the eye brand's product. Skew slightly female. They have a lower overall HHI compared to some of our others, and they are likely aged 45 plus. And then finally, the supplement buff. This is someone who is just interested in trying all different types of supplements to improve their overall health. likely skews female, a moderate household income, age 24 to 54. So overall, this is just kind of a strategy that you can take to help you break down who your audience is and determine kind of what those demographics are that you can pull out and make a key focus for your campaign targeting. Okay, so next up, when we're thinking about our media mix, we need to think about all the different types of social media content that we can have. So first up, this might be one of the more obvious ones that you're probably already working on in your own businesses, are organic posts. This refers to content that you share on your own social media platform without paying for any additional promotion. And with that, you'll be able to reach your followers and people who are already engaging with your brand. So you might be familiar with, on Facebook, you sometimes see content from brands that you don't necessarily follow, but you've interacted with them before in the past, and they kind of suggest this as a, you may like XYZ. So that's kind of who you're limited to reaching with the organic posts. A key benefit of this is that you can build brand love among your key audience, foster community online, and drive engagement. So you have kind of a place for people who love your brand to come and interact with your posts and kind of comment, share with their friends. It's just a good kind of point where they can come back to reference for your brand. Some challenges with using organic strategies only include limited reach. So you're really only going to be able to reach people who are already engaging or following your content. There's no additional amplification behind organic media. So you're really only going to be reaching people who are already aware of your brand, and you're kind of limited to those people. The next strategy is boosted posts. This is kind of one of the more common ways to start experimenting with paid media. This refers to an organic post that receives amplified visibility. So you take a post that's already running on your organic account and you test with additional dollars behind that, kind of what type of additional amplification you can see. You pay the social platform a fee to boost the content to a wider audience beyond your current following. The key benefit of this is, of course, that you get to increase your reach. You get to reach people who are beyond just those who are already following and engaging with your content. The setup is quick and easy for boosted posts. You don't have to sit there and go through all of the robust targeting options that you might have if you're building a formal paid campaign within a social platform. And you'll see fast results. This is something that you can do immediately. You can go into your social platform right now and you can throw $20 behind it and you can amplify that post to a localized audience. Some challenges with this is that you have a limited targeting availability. So like I said, you don't have nearly as many robust options as far as targeting. You're kind of limited to a more localized approach, and you can't really identify specific factors. So kind of how we were discussing the personas earlier on, we broke that down really intensely with all the different demographics. You're a little bit more limited when you're just building a boosted post. You don't have all of the same options that you would if you went in and created a fully integrated advertising campaign. So like I said, limited customization and then limited reporting data. So you're able to see kind of the result there, but there isn't as much granularity with that as you would see with a formally created paid advertising campaign. And then finally, paid campaigns. This is kind of the final step to creating a robust social media plan. This is a fully integrated ad campaign built using a social media platform's ad management system. Key benefits to this is that you can align your objectives to your business goals, and you can use measurement strategies to track results. And then, of course, you have the more powerful targeting options that you were a little bit more limited to when doing just boosted content. Some challenges with this are, of course, time and budget constraints, and then ad platform knowledge. This is really Jennifer and I's area of expertise that we do at Coagi. So we know that there are some challenges with our platforms. There's a lot of options that can be a little bit overwhelming if you're less familiar with how the platform works. But hopefully we can kind of help you over that hurdle today with our presentation. But we do know that ad platform knowledge is a big barrier for a lot of businesses who aren't as familiar with all of the targeting options. So a key factor to creating a more holistic media mix is that we need to create synergy across all paid, owned, and earned efforts. So to kind of put that into simpler terms, you would want to encourage interaction between all three and kind of hit the juxtaposition between. So an example of this would be to encourage site visitors to follow you on social media, share blog snippets onto social media to boost website traffic, and then therefore encourage people to go and visit your website and check out your business. Retarget organic visitors with paid media. So people who have found you organically, you would retarget them with paid media to ultimately encourage them to convert. Integrate shared buttons to encourage users to promote your content to kind of boost that earned media. Run engaging and consistent content across all channels. Collaborate with influencers. Responding to online or social comments. This will be really key in terms of building brand love, building a brand community, and also responding sometimes to questions, or if people leave you a positive review, you'll want to make sure to continue to engage with those people to continue to earn that earned media. And then monitoring cross-channel performance and tracking analytics. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, whether that's even just as simple as monitoring your likes and your comments and things like that, your reviews online, or if you want a more robust strategy, you could use Google Analytics for your website. You can use some of our social platform reporting capabilities. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and not all of them are complicated. So, all right. The next section that we're going to get into is kind of how to set up those paid campaigns. So the first consideration is to choose a platform. You want to determine where your audience is. And we know that kind of we get caught up with some of the bigger platforms. So Facebook and Instagram tend to be where your mind will immediately go. But we want to encourage everyone to also think about the other platforms and the other offering, because a lot of, depending on who your audience is, people are active on other social media platforms, not just Facebook and Instagram, and you want to meet people where they are. So you want to make sure that you're reaching your audience where they are instead of expecting them to be where you are. So starting off with Facebook and Instagram, while these are two completely separate platforms, you can purchase advertising inventory seamlessly through the one Meta Business Manager and kind of deliver the ads dynamically in between the two in accordance with the best opportunities. So if you are running an ad campaign through Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and their algorithm is determining that your target audience is more active on Instagram and they're more likely to engage with you on Instagram, they will automatically distribute your ads more on Instagram than Facebook. So you can choose to advertise on just one platform. If you believe that you will see better results on Facebook, you can choose to do just Facebook. But we always recommend that you allow the platform to learn and distribute dynamically instead of taking the guesswork into that and kind of thinking, I think this is where I think this is where my users are on this platform. But we recommend kind of allowing the algorithm to make that decision. Placements include feeds, so that's what you would see if you log into your Facebook or Instagram app and you start scrolling. That's your feed. Reels and stories, those are kind of that 9:16 vertical video or image ad. Shops, in-stream, audience network, and messenger are kind of lesser known placements. Again, we do recommend that you allow the platform to distribute dynamically in between all the placements and kind of find your audience where they are instead of using guesswork and kind of deciding, oh, I think I only want to spend my dollars on feeds, reels, and stories, because you never know where your audience is going to be, and they will deliver in accordance with where you can find the best opportunity at the lowest overall cost. So that is going to be, it's kind of different depending on Facebook or Instagram. That's kind of, if you've ever seen a reel on Facebook or Instagram and you see a little ad in the corner of that, it's a little bit, it's hard to explain, but it's just kind of an additional placement that they offer that's not in one of the typical feeds. Next up, we have link. And this is kind of top of mind for a B2B client or those looking to reach a business professional. Targeting options are robust and based upon job titles, industries, and et cetera that are self-reported by users. So rather than target by demographic, which is something you'll see more on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms, you kind of target by industry, job title, seniority, job skills, that type of thing. So it really makes it an ideal platform to reach a B2B type client or another business professional type of client. So
if somebody does catering to businesses,
yeah,
this might be
yeah,
something to think about.
absolutely. Yeah, you can reach by job title too. So if you want to reach a type of executive assistant or somebody who would maybe be making that decision for who is going to cater their office celebration, you do have that option within LinkedIn, is to target that precisely. Okay, go. Next up, we have TikTok and Snapchat, and these are really key if your audience includes Gen Z or millennial aged people. TikTok is known to be a strong awareness and consideration platform with low delivery costs and strong engagement. So people are known to engage highly with TikTok content. The content that we see on TikTok tends to be more native style, and people don't necessarily even realize they're looking at an ad when they see it. Whereas on Facebook, people are more kind of privy to seeing ads there, and they're more aware that they're looking at promoted content. Users spend an average of 52 minutes on the app, representing a captive audience. There's a lot of different things that you can do with TikTok. They offer a lot of cool things that you can do. So you're not limited to just short form video. You can do a carousel type ads where you can scroll through different images. There's all types of things. You can even pay an additional fee and be the first video that pops up when somebody opens their app, kind of for that additional amplification. But overall, we really recommend TikTok for getting your name out there, building brand awareness, and encouraging users to engage with your content. Snapchat is a key platform as well for short form vertical videos. This platform is also popular for the consideration stage of the funnel, as well as being a popular platform for education type of work. That's because Gen Z is really involved in Snapchat audiences. So if you're looking to reach a more young audience, this is kind of the place that you want to be. I know people don't necessarily think about Snapchat for more of an owned platform for social media, because you can't really create your own business profile on Snapchat necessarily. People can find you. But there is a lot of value in purchasing ads through Snapchat. With that short form video, if that's something that you have a lot of assets, it's worth testing Snapchat as an awareness play. Finally, we have Pinterest. This is a great platform to reach users in a shopping mindset, as 93% of Pinners say that they use the platform to plan for a purchase. So Pinterest is also great for that kind of upper funnel awareness consideration type of customer, because people go to Pinterest in order to make their plans. So they go there to plan their purchases, they go there to plan really anything. The people who come to Pinterest are just known to be there to consider their options and make a plan for how they're going to spend their dollars.
So like my makers who do pottery or jewelry.
Yeah.
Or even like bakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
To advertise for birthday parties and stuff.
Yeah, and this is kind of another place where people don't always necessarily realize that they're looking at an ad, because this is big for branded search. So a lot of times people will search for a keyword. They will search for jewelry or something like that, and then you will appear kind of on that term. So people are already looking to see content related to your business, and then it's with purchasing ads on Pinterest, you will appear kind of within their search, and you will immediately be in front of the people that you're looking to seek. Yeah.
Or anything that could be associated with a wedding,
Yeah.
or christening, or kid's birthday party, or anything like that.
Mhm.
You're going to start getting moms pinning you in these things that they're doing, and I plan my whole wedding on Pinterest.
Yeah.
It's just a really easy place to do. It's the scrapbook of the modern age.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
And it's like we should be looking at this as like Google search.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
like people use it the way they would use Google search.
Absolutely, and kind of the same for TikTok as well. I know that's a little bit more with like Gen Z millennial type of people, but a lot of people use TikTok as a search platform, and they go there looking for ideas, and the same as Pinterest. So you can target people based on keywords. So for example, if you are a florist, you might use keyword targeting for people looking for wedding ideas, people looking for wedding florists, that type of thing. And so Pinterest is a great platform to reach those people who are already in market for your product or service.
So like for TikTok, if you're people are using it as like a search.
Yeah.
Is it mostly being searched off their hashtags?
Yes. So
like, make sure that if you're posting on TikToks that you hashtag it as much as you can, so that if people are searching it, that's how it'll pop up.
Yes.
Otherwise, it wouldn't really pop up, right?
well, so we actually, the algorithm is learned enough that they can just determine it based on interest. So the type of content that you're spending a lot of time watching or interacting with. Hashtagging is still important. We can target people based on their hashtag interactions. However, we're not limited to just that. The algorithm will understand enough about the user to understand their interests and behaviors. So we're not limited to only hashtagging. However, that will help you have that additional amplification. So the algorithm can learn based on just the type of content that users are interacting with, the type of people that they follow. So yeah, it's kind of a just an additional amplification with the hashtags.
And the hashtag's like the entrance to the rabbit hole. So if
Yeah.
you want to go down and find more stuff, that's where you find it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And it's kind of the same with now that you can do keyword searching too. Hashtags are just kind of an additional amplification for that. Finally, we have X, also known as Twitter. This is a popular platform, again, for B2B entities as well as clients looking to reach older millennial audience. Much of the content on Twitter, X, focuses on live events. So the right targeting allows ads to be served around highly relevant tweets related to events. Twitter is also really great for niche audiences. If you are a more niche business, that's kind of somewhere that people tend to find community and interact if they're a more niche type of customer. Awesome. So once you've figured out where you would like to run your campaign, what platform you would like to choose, the next step will be to identify your campaign goal. And every social platform, when you go in to build a campaign, the first question they will ask you is what your campaign goal is. So this lovely funnel over here is called the conversion funnel, and this kind of represents the consumer journey. So the stage that people are most likely to start in is the awareness stage. So this is when people first become aware of your brand, of your company, of your business. So they start up at the top of that funnel. That's kind of the first point of the consumer journey, is becoming aware. So the next stage is the consideration stage. And this is kind of when the people are evaluating your brand, they're evaluating competitor brands, they're looking at the website and kind of identifying whether or not the product, service, brand will meet their needs. And this is kind of the stage that will make or break whether or not someone will ultimately go through the end of the conversion funnel to convert. And so this is a really key area to focus on for your paid media campaigns, because this will kind of determine whether or not you will acquire the customer. So finally, the conversion goal is where your user will ultimately take action. So whether it's kind of dependent on what your business is. So that might be a purchase, that might be a store visit, that might be acquiring a qualified lead. There's a lot of actions that could kind of fall under that conversion goal. And it kind of, you need to determine what that goal ultimately is in terms of what your business needs are. So once you have identified your goal, the next consideration is creative. And this is a really fun part to kind of identify what type of message you want to send to the people who are going to be seeing your content. So I just have a few examples up here of what your creative options are. The first and most common would be the single image and the single video. So this is just kind of an example of what that can look like in your feed. Depending on what platform you're using, these are screenshots pulled from one of our clients who is using Facebook and Instagram. Depending on what platform you ultimately end up using, you'll use a different like size or aspect ratio for your creative, but this is just kind of an option that would look nice in the feed specifically. So when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed, this is a square that would look nice. It's a 1x1. If you are planning on using stories or reels, you might want a 9x16 kind of a vertical image that would look better in that way. But this is just the first two, probably the most common examples of that single image and video. And then over on the far side, you can see an example of a carousel ad. So that's kind of, if you've seen in your feed before, when you have the single image and you can kind of scroll through the category of images there, and you can kind of tell a story with that. So you can scroll through and encourage users to kind of engage with your content. This is a really engaging type of media because you can have the opportunity to tell your story through that kind of slideshow effect. So these are probably the most common things that you'll see on Facebook and Instagram specifically. Additionally, we have sponsored messages. This is big on both LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. And you can kind of allow the algorithm the opportunity to identify who your target audience is and then send them a direct message, inviting them to check out your brand, inviting them to submit a lead, inviting them to send you a message. Any of those things are possible through sponsored messages. This is really, really key on LinkedIn because it appears right in your inbox if you're looking to target somebody who is going to interact with you there. Additionally, we have the stories, reels. This also is kind of where you would see the TikTok and Snapchat ad. This is kind of what that looks like. It's that 9:16 vertical creative that will it will run as either a video or an image, and you can also do a carousel type ad with this 9:16 aspect ratio. So you can kind of tap through on your screen to tell that story similarly to how you would with the carousel when you would just scroll through. And then finally, the collection ad. This is available specifically on Facebook and Instagram, and we see really, really great performance with these. They're a little bit lesser known. So the goal with this is that you have the one image at the top, that's the main video or image that you will draw your user to, and then if they choose to engage with it, they can scroll down and look at the additional content below. So as you can see, you can click on that and hit more, and then once you do that, you'll see the additional photos down there, and then it will take you as a direct link to your brand's website. So that's a really cool option that's kind of lesser known.
Is that available on Facebook and Instagram?
Yes. It's only available through a paid advertisement. So it's not something that you could post organically. It's something that you would do as a paid advertisement.
Boost, or is that different?
That's a little bit different. The boosted post is you would boost an organic, so something that's already live on your page. You would hit boost and you would put dollars behind it. This is a fully integrated ad campaign, so you would work through Meta's Ads Manager suite, and then it's not necessarily more expensive, but it does require a little bit more work on the front end. So you go in and you choose your targeting options that way, and then you build out your ad in that Ads Manager rather than taking an organic ad from your page and then putting dollars behind it, if that makes sense.
So if you make wedding cakes, this would be a way to have like a main image and then a collection of a lot of variations of a cake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It goes to the website.
But I've never seen that collection before. So
Yes.
It's through the, okay.
Yes, it's called Meta Business Suite, and this is an option for you if you are building a fully integrated ad
And
campaign.
you're going to explain like how to get to Ads Manager.
We'll get into that,
or
yes.
Things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Can I ask
don't worry
a
yet.
stupid question?
Sure, yeah.
When you talk about the 9:16,
Yes.
like, is that a setting on my phone, or is it just literally like when I take the video, I shoot it like this? And
Yes. Yeah. So it's an aspect ratio. So this is that square is considered a 1:1, and the aspect ratio there is just that both sides are the same size. This is a 9:16. So you're right. If you took a vertical image like through your phone camera, it's going to automatically come out as a 9:16. And when you input your creative into the platform, you can kind of custom crop and tailor your images to be the exact correct size that you need to have them. And the platform will help you do that. It's not going to reject your image if it's not the exact correct size when you put it in there. It will allow you the opportunity to crop and change your image to fit the correct ratio. Cool. Some more considerations when choosing a creative strategy. You think about what assets you already have available. So this is a key thing to think about when you're thinking about setting up your first paid campaign, because sometimes creative production can be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more expensive, depending on if you're using a vendor or not. So it's important to look at kind of what you have available, what you know is going to perform well, and if you have like a high quality type of image that will perform well for the algorithm. And then also thinking about what type of content makes sense. So depending on where you are running, what platform you're looking at, it's important to kind of consider what type of platform is native to this, what type of creative is native to this platform, what is going to make sense here. So, for example, the single image or video would make the most sense on a Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest. That's kind of the first examples that we looked at. A short form video, so short form means like 15 seconds or less. That would make sense on Meta Reels, Snapchat, and TikTok. A longer form video isn't necessarily going to perform very well on those platforms because people are looking for like a quick entertainment type of content.
What would you consider long form? Like, give me a second.
I would say 30 seconds or more is kind of more long form, and that's not necessarily the type of content that's going to perform well on these quick moving platforms. However, a long form video or written content will perform better on LinkedIn because people are kind of there to engage with that type of content. They're used to seeing that in their LinkedIn feed. They're used to seeing long content, and they're more likely to read it because that's what they came to the platform to do. People don't necessarily come to TikTok to watch a super long video. However, they might come to LinkedIn expecting to see that there, and they're more likely to engage with it there.
Would you kind of consider that like an elevator pitch almost?
Yeah, LinkedIn is very much your business promoting yourself to other businesses. So that is definitely the type of content that you will be used to seeing on LinkedIn. So really, it's just key to think about what is going to seem native in the platform. So people aren't immediately going to see your ad, say, oh, this is an advertisement, I don't care about this, and then keep moving. You want to appear engaging and native in the way that people are coming to the platform. Throughout this process it's very crucial to maintain a consistent brand voice and style across your media mix. This is kind of just to help build authenticity, build credibility for your brand, to maintain kind of that consistent, here's what people know to expect from your brand, here's what people know to expect your business kind of style to be like. And then of course, testing and learning with different creative types to understand what resonates with your target audience. The first paid campaign that you run might not necessarily drive incredible results right off the bat. So it's important just to understand that you'll kind of learn what is working and what isn't working throughout the process. And just remember to not get frustrated if you don't immediately see the results that you're hoping to see, because the algorithm kind of needs to understand your business, understand your audience, and understand your content in order to help you succeed in achieving and laddering up to your goals. Stay up to date with current trends to stay relevant in the algorithm. Like we were kind of saying earlier, authentic and native style ads tend to perform best and resonate with users. And what that means, native style, is kind of a little bit of a buzzword, but that means that it just aligns kind of with the type of content that you're used to seeing as a user when you log into that platform. Your ads shouldn't stand out in a way that looks like it is very clearly an ad or a commercial or some type of promotional content. It should look authentic to the platform, and it should blend well with the feed, and then of course be high quality, so the algorithm bumps it up even further. And then finally, it's key to track performance using your measurement tools so you can understand the results and kind of visualize the data. This will be really key when you're looking to learn from your campaigns, learning what worked, what didn't work, and then kind of identifying where to go from there.
So when
Sure.
you were saying that your quality of
Yes.
video,
Absolutely.
so like just a simple video doesn't get as many algorithms as like if I were to use like an app to like if I use CapCut or something would get more algorithms than if I just did it on my own.
It's not an exact science. It's really more of the type of, like the algorithm determines quality kind of the way that users are interacting with it. So if it sees that users are interacting, if it's highly engaging, if people are clearly like spending more time watching it versus like seeing it and then immediately scrolling past, that's kind of how it determines quality. The quality isn't necessarily determined by the amount of like flashiness in the video or the amount of overlays, that type of stuff isn't really taken into consideration with the algorithm. It's more determined based on the amount of user interaction and amount of time spent watching it.
Is the same true for audio? Like if you overlay audio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you'll need your audio to be, like people need to be able to hear it, and it needs to be, it needs to make sense. So it's considered a more complete ad. If you're running a video ad, you'll want it to have audio. That's going to help it be more engaging, and you also want to design for both sound on and sound off experiences. So some of your users are going to be coming to the platform with their sound on, but you also should have a video that makes sense with sound off, because a lot of people might be in public or somewhere where they don't have their audio on. So subtitles sometimes can help. You can also allow the platform to generate subtitles for you. That's kind of a common option. It is pretty accurate too, so that is a common option that people like to use. But yes, generally adding audio is going to help your video perform because the algorithm will consider it a more complete ad, because users who are watching with sound on and sound off are both going to find it compelling.
What about trending audio? I've heard that,
Yeah.
use audio that's trending at that particular time, that can help boost.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's big on TikTok, especially in Reels. The slide before, I think we talked about, yes, staying up to date with current trends to stay relevant. So that is a consideration for the algorithm. If something is currently getting a lot of engagement, if there's an audio that has people are really interactive with, that's going to get a boost in the algorithm, because people want to see that content, people are engaging with it, and it's more likely to get a reaction out of people. So that's crucial for your algorithm. Okay, awesome. So finally, we're going to talk about your results. So after you run your paid campaign, you've been all set up with everything that we've talked about. How do you understand what worked, what didn't work, and visualizing your performance data? So I've added just some kind of screenshots to kind of go through how to navigate through Meta's business suite. So when you log into Ads Manager, you'll see this kind of taskbar over here with all of the different options for where you can go. To run your ads, you would select Ads Manager, and then you can go in there and create your campaigns. However, to see your reporting, you would come over here and click on Ads Reporting, pull that up, and then you'll immediately see a whole bunch of options, which can be a little bit overwhelming to look at first, but you have the ability to filter out your metrics and only add the ones that make sense for your specific business needs. So as you can see over here, we kind of have a screenshot of all of the options that you'll see when you go into Meta Ads Reporting. And it's really small, but you can kind of see on here that you can check certain metrics that you do or do not want to see. So you'll go in here and you'll see hundreds of options, but really you need to just identify what you actually care about. So if you care about people who are clicking on the ad, if you care about who is making a purchase, if you care about who is liking the post, all of those are options that you can select or deselect in this reporting suite. So I encourage you kind of after this to go in and just kind of look at this, look and see what your options are. There were way too many to include on this slide because there are over 100 of different choices to see. There's so many things that you can track and analyze, and it really just boils down to what matters for your business. So if your campaign goal, thinking back to that, was to drive awareness, you might think about looking at how many impressions were served. Yes?
Sorry, we have a lot of caterers
Yeah.
in the room. Could you maybe make an example?
Sure. So if I own a catering business, I'm going to run an ad and I'm going to encourage people to fill out an interest form, like a lead form maybe. So you can do that within the Facebook platform. I'll just use Facebook as an example since that's what we're looking at. And so I will run an ad, and when I click on the ad, I'm going to immediately populate the screen with a lead form. And it's going to say name, phone number, maybe email address, and then maybe say like date and event that you're looking for caterers for. So I'm going to then encourage people to fill out that interest form, and then I'm going to collect that information about them. So I would go in here and I'm going to select leads. So I'm going to see who actually completed my lead form, who is a qualified lead now. I might also want to look at clicks, so who clicked on the ad but didn't necessarily complete the lead form, so I can go back and try and acquire those people later. And then, of course, you can go into your reports and then actually view those people's information and then reach out to them on behalf of your business and see if they're actually interested in your services. So that's just kind of an example for a catering business. Those might be your key metrics that you're interested in if you are looking to achieve that qualified lead.
And so when you're talking about synergy between
Yes.
all sorts of platforms, those are the people that you would then take and put in like your MailChimp,
Yes.
like email list,
Absolutely.
or you might, if you do postcards or anything like that,
Yeah.
you might
Now that
fold them
you've
into that.
now that
Because
you've
you're
acquired
just-
that
you're
information.
gathering leads, so you can use those in a lot of different platforms.
Absolutely. Yeah, now that you've acquired that information, you can add that to like your CRM data, anything like that, and you can use that to kind of remarket to those people and keep them engaged with your business. Even if they don't necessarily use your business for their upcoming event, they might consider you again in the future. They might tell their friends, hey, I didn't end up using this service, but I had a great interaction with them. You should use them. So that's just kind of an example of something that you can do to collect that kind of data, collect those qualified leads, and then use that information again to your advantage, kind of remarket to them, keep them engaged with your business.
A random question, do you
Sure.
recommend, as much as I would love to say that using the mobile platform to do mobile platform business is
Yeah.
helpful, do you recommend mostly doing this on a desktop?
Absolutely, yeah. We do all of our business on the
Because
desktop.
you use a mobile company on a mobile device to
Yeah.
advertise mobile things when there's like, really just use desktop.
Oh yeah, we usually do use a desktop app. The Facebook Ads mobile app, as much as it is convenient, it's not very holistic in your options. So we would
There's
do.
just so much on the screen
Yeah.
that they try to squish it all into like your mobile phone, and it's hard to navigate.
For sure.
Something that you could use your mobile device for is more so organic posts.
Mhm.
So taking a picture at an event and say, hey, we're going to be here till 4, come by. That's easy to navigate on your mobile device versus having to like build an advertisement.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to have either a business Facebook page or a business Instagram page to get access to Meta.
Yes. So you'll set up, it's not hard to do. You'll just set up as a business or transfer your current account as a business account, and then you can see all of these options. As you can see, you can pop out to the Meta Business Suite, which is what we keep referencing, and that's where you'll find all of this information. Cool.
Any other questions?
And then I just have one more additional tidbit about this. You can also use these platform tools to better understand your audience. So this is a pretty holistic breakdown of exactly who is interacting with your ad. So this demonstrates exactly what age, what gender, and the exact volume of ad delivery to each of those people. So this is just great for an audience insight. So if you were thinking that your target audience was women aged 55 to 64, you might use this tool to then rethink that and say, okay, well, that's actually not the demographic of people who are interacting with my content. I'm actually seeing a lot better performance with that 35 to 44 age group with men. So this is just another tool that you can kind of use to help you nail down and fine-tune your audience targeting to help make sure that you are reaching the correct people and you're not wasting your dollars on people who are not going to engage, who are not going to convert with your content. Cool. So what does success look like? Thinking back to our original conversion funnel, so we have those 3 options when creating a paid campaign: the awareness, consideration, and conversion goal. So the awareness goal, your goal with that was to build brand awareness and reach new customers. So if people were not already aware of your business, your goal was to make them aware and then continue to build up your branding. For consideration, that goal, what would measure success would be that you're seeing a high level of engagement with your content. So you're seeing a high volume of clicks, your click-through rate, which is the amount of people who saw your content and then clicked on it. So the rate of people who are doing that versus the rate of people who saw your content and did not further engage. And then you also would track how many people then visited your website as a result of seeing your paid campaign.
And the reason it's called a funnel is because you need a lot of people at the top.
Yes.
In the awareness section in order to just get a few people in the conversion.
Yes.
So to kind of scale up what you're doing, you really need to like put the word out to a lot of people in order to get the buyers.
Exactly.
And for perspective, only maybe 2% of the population is ever in that bottom part of the funnel at the time.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's also important to consider, you might not want to necessarily start off right at the bat with a conversion goal, because if the first message that anybody's ever seen from your brand is, hey, buy my product, they might just scroll right past that because they don't know your brand, they don't know your business. So it's important to consider kind of starting out with a higher funnel goal, so that awareness or consideration goal, and then encouraging users down that consumer journey through remarketing or whatever tactic you choose, and then ultimately encouraging them to make that final conversion at the end. And then, of course, success, how do we quantify that for a conversion goal? Users will make a purchase, or you will receive a qualified lead. Whatever the action is that you were hoping people would take as a result of your campaign, they are taking that action.
A lot of times you can loop in like Google Analytics or site metrics. So how many people from Facebook are clicking buttons on your website, or clicking or filling out a form on your website. So continuing that conversion, not only in social media, but translating that further down into like website analytics as well.
Yeah.
Is there a really easy way to integrate all of that? I mean, without having a company do it for you? Because it can be a giant pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do would probably be create UTMs, Universal Tracking Measure.
I think that's right.
I think. But so basically, it's the string at the end of your URL that basically say that you append to an ad. So if I create a post or an ad on Facebook and I say it's www.maclab.com/Facebook/spring campaign, in Google Analytics, I'll be able to filter by like MacLab or Spring Campaign to see how many people are visiting the site from that specific paid media campaign.
Yeah. Any questions about that? If not, we can move on. Cool. So, and then I wanted to also touch on measuring success for organic content, kind of circling back to our original conversation about paid, owned, and earned, and making sure that they all work together. So this is, I'm sure, something you're already familiar with. You would want to track engagement. A success would look like people are interacting with your posts, they're liking, commenting, sharing with other people, sharing to their own platforms. They're clicking on your content, they're clicking through to view your website from whatever links that you have on your organic pages. They're viewing the videos that you're putting out. Followers, so people are following your page, they see your content, they engage with it, and then they ultimately choose to follow you. Or on Facebook specifically, they can like your page. So they would go in, they would maybe check in, they would like your page, they would engage with it somehow, and then continue to build up your own organic presence. And then finally, this will ultimately ladder up to successful business outcomes. So you'll see improved results that ladder up to support your larger business goals. So hopefully with your organic content, if people are engaging, if people are following you, then they are also hopefully making a purchase. If you're a catering business, then they're reaching out to you to cater their events, they're telling their friends. Those are the types of people who, if they're constantly engaging, if they're following, then hopefully they will help you achieve that ultimate business goal. And then, of course, giving word of mouth recommendations, that kind of goes back to that earned segment. This is really crucial because people are most likely, you can send your message out all day long and you can tell people how great your business is, but really people are going to trust it most from someone that they have in their immediate life and they trust. So a word of mouth recommendation is something that is kind of invaluable from kind of the work that you do organically. If you're putting good content out there and you're receiving great feedback online organically, then you'll see those word of mouth recommendations. Awesome. That was all that we really had for you today, but I did want to open the floor for questions. If there's anything that pertains to you specifically that you want to talk about, we would be happy to do that.
I wanted to ask a question about engaging with other businesses.
Yeah.
Does that, how does that figure? I've always heard that, the more you follow like businesses and engage with their content, that increases your visibility.
Absolutely.
Not only to them, but to followers that they might have. Is that true? And
yes.
what do you suggest as far
Absolutely.
as doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. That will not only kind of increase your visibility because people who are then interacting with that page, they're seeing that page, will then see you and then ultimately be inclined to kind of check out your business, click on your page, look at your content. But you will also just continue to kind of build your credibility and your relevance because people will build brand recognition. They'll say, oh, I saw that name somewhere, wherever it would be. Yes, that is definitely something that can continue to help you ladder up kind of with that organic and earned side. It's kind of interacting with other businesses, and also that will kind of make the other businesses inclined to interact with you. And kind of if you are supporting them, then they will feel inclined to in turn kind of support you as well.
If you're going to ask them to like your post and share your post and do that stuff and specifically ask, use it sparingly because it gets old super fast.
Right. Yeah, no, you would never want to like over push your message or do anything like that. It's more just kind of, like you said, increasing your visibility, making people be aware of your brand, aware of your business, that type of thing. So.
What are your thoughts on verified accounts?
Yes, I think that lends credibility to your business if you're willing to kind of take that step. It's not required by any means for you to have a presence or to run ads, but it does lend credibility to you as a business if you are a verified organization because people will see your account and know it's legit and feel more inclined to trust you.
Now that's on Twitter. Is that on other platforms that you have
There, yeah,
information?
it's, yeah,
Instagram?
there are options there, yeah.
I have a question about like more of a timeline, and I know you probably can't give a specific one.
Yeah.
But going from the awareness to consideration to conversion,
Mhm.
is there like a standard time of how quickly that moves so you don't move too fast or take too long?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's very variable, kind of depending on how aware kind of people are of you in the target market. We usually recommend kind of an evergreen approach for our awareness and consideration, so kind of an always on. So new people are constantly becoming aware of your business and kind of considering your services. And then the conversion funnel, that's something that we kind of would recommend starting maybe with retargeting people who are already on your CRM list, people who are already following, liking you, kind of starting there and then kind of encouraging people to move into that stage from the top of the funnel and then encouraging them down. Does that help?
Kind of, but there isn't like, okay, after a month you're just your old news and you're not populated
Yeah.
in the
Well,
algorithm.
keep in mind that you're always getting new people.
Yeah,
So,
that I understand.
so you can start by doing 100% just brand awareness, and then after a month or so, add in some newer tactics that are a little bit more down the funnel, and then add a little bit more of the other, and just kind of start. But always keep that a bit in the beginning, because you're always still filling the funnel.
Yeah, for sure. So what you said, so in a month. So that's kind of what I was kind of
Look at
looking
the
for.
buying cycle of your product, whatever
Yep.
it is.
I was just going to say,
If it's
the
a car,
industry
maybe
or the
longer
buying
than-
cycle, you have to take into consideration how many people, like, how long do they plan, say you're catering for an event, like, how long do they plan the event ahead of time? So that's going to be your cycle between awareness and conversion. And then building messages and content that supports them through the funnel. So awareness could be more like, learn more and here's what we offer. Consideration would be like, are you ready to book? And then the conversion campaign could be like, book now, like, we're filling up fast, please reserve your spot, things like that. So guiding them through, but it truly does depend on just the sales cycle and what your services are.
Yeah, you can kind of feel guided too by the performance metrics, like we were kind of talking about with the reporting. Like if you're starting to see a high influx of people who are visiting your site as a result of your ads, you can kind of take that and as an indication that people might be more inclined and ready to move into that conversion stage. So kind of all of that combined, I know that's not like a solid timeline, but it's just very variable depending on the industry. But yeah, hopefully you can feel empowered to look at those results and then use that to kind of inform your strategy.
I would think it would also depend on the time of year and the general consumer buying cycle. So obviously around Christmas, it seems like you could be a lot more focused on conversion because or Mother's Day or something like that. So a lot of it would also depend on those kind of traditional buying cycles that we're all used to.
Yeah, the more you track your measurements of either organic boosted or paid ads, like then you can start to see that seasonality or trends of when more people are active, and that's probably when you would want to fluctuate. Let's turn down our evergreen campaign because they're already aware. but then ramp up our conversion campaigns that like really drive those people to your site.
And testimonials or endorsements
Mhm.
or influencers are also really great ways to push people through and,
Yep.
and do it all at the same time, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, try to do it all at once, then having somebody that already has the perceived credibility
Yep.
helps push people through the funnel a lot faster than just you talking about your product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I've added reviews to 2 different businesses that I have
Mhm.
on Facebook. How do I harness that and actually like use that for, hey, here's what, here's the feedback I got on
Yeah.
this work I did.
Yeah, I would probably use that in your creative strategy. So kind of using that as your message. And you could say, hey, people are saying this about my business. Like you kind of promote that in a way that you can kind of integrate it into your creative strategy. So that could be your message. You can add that like even just a screenshot or have somebody kind of give a verbal testimonial and take a video of it, that type of thing. That will also help you kind of lend credibility to these are real people, they're really interacting with my business, and this could be, this could be you, like whoever the person is who's viewing this.
My husband works for Chapman, and they do a really good job on social media. About like once a week, they're like, hey, like their comment is, thanks so much for working with us, Ben.
Mhm.
We appreciated, working with you, and the actual 1-by-1 image is the testimonial.
Mhm.
They probably get permission to do that
Sure.
ahead of time, but that's something that's like really resonates. I'm like, oh, they had a good experience. That makes me want to work with them too, so I can also
Sure,
have a
yeah.
good experience.
And I guess I could also, I could take the pictures of the products. It's 2 different things. I do essential and wellness products
Mhm.
as well, but I also restore furniture
Yeah.
and repair. So, like, I just did a huge piece that it was a roll top desk that had a lot of sentimental value, and they had had a pipe burst in it.
Oh,
Kind
wow.
of ruined this thing.
Huh.
And they picked it up yesterday, and they were just thrilled. So
Oh,
they're really
good.
for review. So having a before and after picture and a statement.
Yeah.
maybe.
1,000%,
If you
yeah.
can get video of them seeing it for the first
Thank you.
time.
That's already done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For future like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, things to think about.
That gets shared, that goes viral.
Right.
Yeah.
Videos do tend to perform better than static images just
Mhm.
because it's movement, it's eye-catching.
Yeah.
It makes the user actually stop to pay attention
Sure.
to what they're watching. So videos are key, but I would say like before and after pictures are
Mhm.
definitely something that it takes more time for the person to actually take a look at it and
Mhm.
actually observe what they're seeing.
Yeah.
I noticed yesterday with reviews, people were asking me, how do I leave a review?
Oh.
And, of course, I told them how to leave a review, but it seems like sometimes when you're boosting an ad or
Mhm.
something, it gives you an option of putting a button on different things. And
Yeah.
is there a button for a review? It seems like it would be a lot
It would be
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a button to put on there as
Yeah.
opposed to me having to screenshot and, go here,
in
click
this
here,
tab.
go there.
Yeah.
The ability to put on your page
Yeah.
all the different places where you can leave reviews. If you can do that, you can set it up as a place on one of your pages.
Yeah.
And just say, leave us a review on Google, leave us a review on Amazon, leave us a review on Yelp, leave us a review on here. And just put them all there and then say, we understand there's lots of places where people like to leave reviews. Here's a link to all of them.
Yep.
We'd love for you to do that.
There's also the benefit of a QR code. Good segue in. But really, if you have like a card or maybe like a half sheet, it has like different QR codes that take you to that direct link. That way you don't have to screenshot it or anything. You can just send them a direct link or leave them with a handout, when they pick up their piece of furniture or anything that's like, okay, if you want to leave a review, here's 3 options to do that.
Yeah.
And these were all generated by free online generators. So you don't have to have any type of paid service to create QR codes.
You can put your logo in the middle of it too, which is really fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I ask about how much, and granted, a lot of different types of businesses, a lot of small businesses, but everything here is a small business,
Mhm.
perhaps micro-sized. How much should people be spending on advertising? What percentage of their overall budget? Because I know that when we think about buying products and this and that, sometimes marketing is the last in line, and we think, oh, we'll just post through it, and we don't need to invest. What would you recommend investing?
Yeah,
In
it's
initial stages, kind of the consistent campaigns, what do you think?
yeah.
Ideally, we would have audience research. So that's kind of our COAGI's process is learn about the industry, what's the landscape look like, do we have other competitors, where are the other competitors spending and how much, and then analyze, okay, what's our audience, who's our audience size, and then how much money do we need to support that audience or reach those individuals. So ideally we would have some sort of research or analysis to help provide that recommendation. It's very hard to just have a blanket outline just because every industry is different.
Yeah.
Seasonality is different. We might want to spend more one month versus the next month. And then also just varied by that individual market or the audience. Some audience might be larger, so we'll need a little bit more money to hit that. One thing I will say is even if you do have your overall target market, whatever dollars you are able to provide, it will reach a certain percentage of that market. So you might not reach every single individual, but even if you put $100 towards paid media, you're going to reach more people than you were organically.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that kind of puts that a little bit into perspective of even if you have $100 here or there, just go ahead and put it in because you're going to increase that reach.
So definitely when making a budget, put in some money, even if you don't, you're not at the point where you can do that kind of research, but having even boosted posts for a few dollars on a regular basis is a start.
Is it definitely a start?
As you grow your business and then hopefully get to the point where they can do
have
the
a media
analysis and
budget.
Yeah.
do all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, just kind of what we were saying, to kind of test and learn. That's kind of the best way that you'll be able to identify where your dollars matter. It's just kind of testing those different things. So maybe starting with just that boosted post, putting a few dollars on it, seeing how far that gets you, and if you're seeing great results, then maybe you ladder up and then you consider more of an integrated ad campaign.
And is it tax deductible?
What? Mm-hmm.
It is.
Advertising is it tax deductible? You could write it off as an expense.
Great question, I have no idea.
Yeah. Cool.
Talk to your accountant about that.
Yeah.
We're all
I
marketing
would say
people here.
reference the
Talk to your accountant about that. Or small business development centers here in Parkade, and they're
Kind of down the hallway.
they're that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Any other questions for our experts?
I was looking up trying to find that carousel, like one post that you had.
The collection.
Is it only on if I get on a computer, I'll find it there?
It's-
I'm not seeing it on the phone.
Yes, and it's through the paid suite of tools, the paid Meta Ads Manager. So you have to have a paid campaign in order to see it. You won't be able to see it through your organic.
And then is it only available for a certain objective?
I think so. I think it's more of a consideration conversion play.
So when you first log into Facebook Ads Manager and it says to build an ad, it will say, okay, what is your goal for the campaign? Website traffic, conversion, lead form, whatever.
Sure.
So those lead you to a specific amount of creatives available or creative types available. So collection may or may not be available for all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
And that the same with the lead forms, because I think there's a lot of folks here who might be interested.
Yeah.
And so and it's called lead.
Well, the leads are on the ads thing. That one's pretty easy.
So you can find that pretty easy.
Yeah, that one
That's
is
the
pretty
objective.
easy.
Because I think that's a super
Yeah.
valuable.
And it says to use a form to collect your contact information. Okay.
Yep, and you can build that form, you can customize the questions, you can even have people autofill, so people are a lot more likely to complete the form if they don't have to sit there and type out an answer to every single question. Kind of the least amount of questions that you can have, you're gonna see a higher volume of lead form completions, because people might get frustrated and they're like, I don't wanna fill out this 7-question lead form, you know.
Yeah. I liked that one had a learn more button to go to your website. Like,
Yes.
that was more of what I was interested
Oh yeah, you can do that. So any paid ad that you run, you can add that call to action button so that you can do learn more, you can do purchase now, there's a whole kind of suite of options. Yeah, as you can see, we got order now, we have sign up. There's a whole kind of suite of options there that you can choose from depending on your goal, like what action you're looking for the user to take. And all of these do link out to the brand's website. So that was a great way to drive traffic to get people in front of your site.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm doing a boosted post,
Mhm.
I like to send people to the website, or I like
Yep.
to send. I like to do that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it doesn't give me the option. It only gives me the option to do a lead form. Even when I change the goal for that, it locks out what I want. It only is a lead form, and we don't use those a lot.
What
Do you
goal?
know why that is?
Do you know what goal you're using?
No, it's, you know what, it'll be like awareness,
Mhm.
and then, because that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Because we're not actually selling stuff. I'll do awareness, and even though when I toggle that to other things,
Mhm.
it only gives me the option of a lead form. It doesn't give me, look, I have stumped the expert.
Yeah, it was like if we had it in front of us, I bet we could
Bet you could figure it
identify it. But
Right.
generally, so the lead form is a conversion play. So if your goal is conversion, that's when you'll see that lead form option. For any other type of objective, you should have the option to link out to a site.
Next time it happens, and
Yeah.
send you guys a screenshot.
Yeah, that's
For the
interesting.
mystery.
Yeah, it shouldn't be doing that, so that's interesting. Cool.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When I started my Facebook, I started it as a just to figure out if people actually know what it is.
Uh-huh.
And I realized it's like a personal Facebook.
Okay.
Where they have to
Like, they have to request your friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually.
You have one that says like and follow, and then you have one that says add as friend.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I don't know how to.
You can probably delete the one that is add friend.
I get on the add friend and make sure people know that you have the other one.
Yeah.
And
Leave
send
it open
out-
for a while.
Let them know, leave it open for a short period of time, and then put a notice, by this date, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this page down, and everything will be over on my main business page, and then shut it down, cause you don't wanna have both, and honestly,
Cause I was
Facebook
looking
frowns
for,
on it.
I was
Oh.
looking for
Oh.
your information to make sure that I had it to on our page, and I noticed that you had two.
I didn't even know that.
And you
You
have a
can-
comment.
You can also, so everyone who has friend requested you or is currently friends with you, from your business page, you can find that user
Yeah.
and say, invite to like. So as the business page, you'll basically find that exact same user that's already friends with you, invite them to like your business page before you shut down your actual page.
Okay. And you have to have a personal page before you have the business page, right?
Yeah, so business
Yeah.
pages need to be connected to an actual person's account.
Yeah, and that, the other one isn't your personal page. Do you have
She
another
has a personal page as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a look at your face.
I will just
looking
you
at it.
know, it's easy trying to do stuff with your personal page as a business.
I don't know,
They get
I
from-
noticed it the other
Yeah.
day when I was
Yep,
scrolling
if you try to do
through,
business
that
stuff from
it
your
said
personal
add
page,
friend, and then
there's
I had one that said
Facebook
like-
kind of gets on you about it. You also have to like now verify your
Mhm.
user. So I like had to submit a picture of my ID and stuff. So
They will do it at the most inconvenient times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they will shut it down until you do it, like,
Yep.
Eunice may get on one day and find out that you no longer have a Facebook page until you have found your ID and sent it to them, and it
Yeah.
will look super spammy.
All right. I think we've moved into unanswerable conundrums dealing with Facebook. So before we go too far down the rabbit hole of problems that we all have that we have no idea about, thank you, both of you, for everything.
Awesome.